Nikki Boyd is on a mission to help motivated women find balance and actually reshape their lifestyle and improve their quality of life through the art of organization. I talk one-on-one with the professional organizing expert and best-selling author for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Nikki Boyd, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to have you. Needless to say, you are a best-selling author, a professional organizing expert, the founder and driving force behind Home with Nikki. And I know that obviously you provide professional in-home and office organizer servicing to Charleston and Charlotte, I didn't know, and remotely around the world. So what's new, what's now with At Home with Nikki?
Well, we're always up to something. I can tell you that right now. And the thing, I've been doing this for several years now, and I really want to, and we're in the process of transitioning into helping others looking to get into the organizing business, because it's such a great field for those mommies that they know how to multitask, they're great at that, and they want to kind of transfer that into a career. And this is such a great field for that. So I've just released recently my master course. And so just kind of giving them a tool that is really efficient for starting in the business. So that is kind of my baby right now with At Home with Nikki.
So before you started your particular professional services, Nikki, what type of masterclass did you receive for all of this?
Oh, the masterclass of life, I tell you. And for me, how I transitioned this into a business for myself is that being a military spouse, we were always traveling. I would have to pick up at last minute notice and move us across the world. And so I honed in on skills for organizing and maintaining a home beautifully. And so I just took those skills and transferred them into a business for myself. And so that's kind of how I got my master course in actually doing it myself in my own home.
Wow. So Ms. Nikki, let me ask you then, what's the art of organizing?
The key to organizing is really honing in. I have 6 steps that you hone in on. And one is just being able to kind of assess your situation and understand where you're at. And that's the biggest part of it. And then moving into the next steps of really just decluttering, getting rid of everything around you that does not need to be there, things that don't serve your purpose, that you don't love. And so many of us have those things in our lives, and we just need to clear the clutter so that we can really truly have an accurate assessment of our stuff. And so from that point, it's then figuring out how to place things so that it works efficiently for me, and so that it saves me time, saves me money, and saves me from being stressed.
Exactly right about the stress. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
And Ms. Nikki, when it comes to at-home service, professional services, that is, what's new as far as decluttering things these days?
Yeah. Well, I just came out with because one question I'm always asked is, where do I start? My home is in disarray and I don't know where to start. And so I came out with this card deck. It's the Beautifully Organized in 52 Weeks card deck. And it takes you don't have to think about it. You just pick one card per week and you do that card, and that helps you declutter your home, get through it, and you don't have to try to figure out where to start, figure out what to do. You just pick that card and you start decluttering. And if you don't have the cards, you can just simply say, okay, every day I'm going to declutter 3 items from my space. And over time, slowly, you'll start to see things start clearing out. Yeah.
Wow. So what else is being cleared out when it comes to decluttering?
Stress.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And the loss of money, because how many times have you went and bought something that you already had because you couldn't find it in your own house, right? So many of us have had that experience. But when we remove things from our life that don't belong there, from our space that does not belong there, we open up so much more for ourselves. We open up creativity. You're able to think better. You're able to feel better, because our homes are a haven where we come out back. You come out of that world to rejuvenate at home. And so if your home is cluttered, it's hard to rejuvenate. So organization is so key in our spaces.
How do you rejuvenate before decluttering all of this in the homes and offices?
How do you rejuvenate?
Yeah, how do you do
the
it?
motivation?
Yes, ma'am. How do you do it personally?
Yeah. Personally, for me, I tell myself, well, you got this. We're going to take it slow. And I start with one little thing. It may be a drawer. Because
Yeah.
when I declutter and organize that one small drawer, it boosts me, and then I'm like, okay, well, let me tackle a closet now since I can handle this. And so just getting that initial motivation from a small task versus trying to jump on a garage
Yeah.
and then getting frustrated right off the bat. So just kind of get yourself a little spark somewhere by doing something small.
Wow. So what other sparks do you use to make this all happen?
I use, as far as organizing my space, I love, to me, drawer organization is everything. So I love getting in a drawer and making it look fabulous. And I love those spaces that are necessarily not in the open.
Right.
The ones that surprise you. When you open your pantry, it looks beautiful, or your closet, it looks beautiful. And so I really strive to, when organizing a space, I encourage my clients to always not only think about the things that you see, but think about the things that you don't see, because that you literally are going to be accessing those spaces all of the time. Yeah.
Right. So what are those things that you don't normally see when you're doing this, Ms. Nikki?
Oh, there's so many things. You all have that spot, I know, in your home that it's like no one sees it but me.
Right.
Right? Yeah, it's that special closet that's in the home, or that special room that nobody can access, that black hole.
Yeah.
It can be as simply as your work bag.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spots in our spaces that we could be using to enhance our life, but because it's a black hole, it's really causing us more stress. So, if you need a home office and you have a dining room that is just got everything in it, think about transforming that dining room into a gorgeous home office, really using your space for what you need it for. And so it's about clearing out those little black holes, because they can really bring light to your home and be a space that you really can use. Yeah.
What else are people transforming when it comes to their home and their office space?
Well, and let me preface it by saying this. I always encourage people, when you buy a home, it always has set rooms. This is the kitchen. This is the dining room.
Yes.
But when you go into the home, reset that thought process for what you and your family need. You may not need a dining room. You may need a home office. You may not need a guest bedroom, but you may need a den, a separate den. And so I encourage everyone to just recreate your homes for what you really need it for, because they're just, in the end, they're just rooms, Yeah.
So before you started all of this, Ms. Nikki, how did you redecorated your house?
Oh, I've always had a passion for creating a home that was inviting, one that we could create memories in.
Yes.
Whoever entered could create memories in. And so being a military family, it's always challenging when you move to a new country or a new space. You don't know anyone. Right. It's challenging. And so one thing I had control over was creating a beautiful environment at home. And so that's where I got my passion, for just really going in and making spaces very efficient and organized and beautiful and fun, right, so that the family could really enjoy it, and it would compensate for being in this new place where we didn't know anyone, or where it was just challenging. And then, I was a messy child. I was a very messy child. I mean, I tell everybody all the time, my dad would say, get your room clean in 5 minutes. And I would go back, get your room clean. In 5 minutes, my room was clean. Everything under the bed, everything in the closet. And he would come in and open the door and everything would fall out. And so it was when I got my first place as a young woman that I had so much pride and joy, and something transformed in me that I really loved creating beautiful spaces.
Wow. What are you most proud of now with Nick at home with Nikki?
I tell you, my most proud is my books. I'm really proud that I was able to, I never thought that I would be a best-selling author. You never know the journey that you will be on, but to be able to take all the things that were in my heart and my mind as it comes to the art of organization and be able to put it in a best-selling book has been just an amazing blessing for me, and I'm really truly proud of that. Yeah.
That's really amazing. So, Miss Nikki, if you could go back and add some more pages to your best-selling book, what would you add now, knowing what's going on in the world today, post-COVID, etc.?
Yes, I would really focus on just hugely on the importance of home and making it your haven, because we saw with COVID, being home, how important it is, how home is important. When you need that space where it comforts you, it feels good, you have everything you need, and it feeds you. And I think COVID taught us that, right? And so if I had to add some pages onto that book, it would be about how to even expand even more on how to bring those beautiful experiences at home, because home is really an important spot in our life.
Absolutely. And so, Miss Nikki, let me ask you this. What demands for managing a household are people juggling today?
Oh, the schedules, cleaning, maintenance. There's so many components that go into running a home. I always say running a home is really no different than running a business.
There you go.
You have a business, you have to have a building, you have to have, well, you have a place to run your business, but you also have to have communication.
Yes.
If a company never communicates, never meets, never talks, how do they meet their goals?
Right.
It's the same with our families and our homes. If you don't have someone coming in and cleaning that office building and maintain it, it becomes a disaster. The same with your home. If you don't have a place to keep the files and records and important documents, same with your home. So I always think of running your home in the same components, using the same components as a business.
Wow. And so what is that ideal functional space and style today?
Oh, minimalism has been really huge lately. I personally am not a minimalist. I love my things,
Yes.
but they have to have a place in my home and a purpose. And so although you will see out there on Instagram and you'll see all of these videos and graphics about minimalism, you have to do what's right for you, and you have to just overall message is only having your space what brings you joy and what you need. And you will be just fine. You will be just fine.
And besides, obviously, home decorating, what else brings you peace and joy these days, Miss Nikki?
Oh, I love. I moved to the country, and I just love the peacefulness of getting up and going outside and hearing the birds and seeing the trees,
Yes.
and just the peacefulness of it. So that's kind of been my joy now. Even though I'm in the middle of a renovation project, we're renovating the home. So it's like, it's still being able to walk outside and walk into that peace that has just been so beautiful. So I've been enjoying that. And I feel like, okay, now this is a home where I can write another book in. This is
So what would be the title of that book?
I don't know what the title would be yet, but I really, really want to focus on small space organization. So many people have small spaces and they don't know what to do. And I want to write a book where I can give them creative solutions for creating a beautiful home with a small space.
What is that ideal small space in a home?
Well, so many people have apartments.
Yes.
You have, the tiny homes are real big right now too. Even a lot of the homes, the square footage is just not a lot with the prices of homes now. People just can't afford these big homes. $1 million home today is not what it was a few years ago.
Right.
And so many people are downsizing, whether they're just downsizing because the kids are gone and they just want more efficiency. So small spaces can come in a variety of ways. Yeah.
Wow. And what ways are you and your team are using today?
Well, what we do is when we're working with a client, we just find out kind of what they want from the space, whether it's small or whether it's large. And size doesn't matter when it comes to organization. It really doesn't. You can have the same beautiful space, whether you have a 5,000 square foot home or whether you have 1,000 square foot home. And so we just go in with the client and we want to know what is it that they want out of the space. And that's what we work with them to create.
So in generalities, Miss Nikki, what are the clients' wants and needs today when it comes to organizing these homes and spaces?
They want to get rid of the clutter. They want to get rid of, they have accumulated. We are a country here that accumulates so much, and then it gets overwhelming. And most people are at that point when they contact me that they're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And they're ready to clear it out. And they just struggle because they love the stuff. They've had it. Sometimes it's sentimental, and they just want someone to come in and help them deal with it.
Wow. So what are those other fears that are stopping people from having an organized home or office?
Well, it comes a variety of ways. It could be sentimental. They have things that someone's given them that they're attached to.
Right.
They don't love it. They don't want it, but that heart is pulling at them.
Yeah.
So it's hard for them to physically say, "I'm going to put this out." Another thing is shopping habits. We have Amazon and things that some people have Amazon coming to the door every day. So if you think about bringing all that stuff in every day, but you don't move it out as fast,
Right.
it's so easy to just over accumulate things.
Wow. Oh my God. So what's the future of organization in your mind?
I feel like organizing over the last couple of years has grown really so big. It's gotten a lot of popularity, with the TV shows and just on social media. And I think that because organization is more than just putting a bin or a basket in a closet, it is about bringing peace in your life. It's about reducing stress, saving time, saving money. Those important things to us, it's not going away. It's just only going to get bigger. And I feel like for my profession, we are going to be just in high demand even more than we are today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Nikki Boyd with At Home with Nikki, thank you for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome.